Welcome back to ZE Coin. Today, we're diving deep into one such piece of American history, the United States of America 1978 Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin. This coin, though often seen as ordinary spare change in the hands of many, hides a fascinating legacy and, in some cases, an unbelievable worth that could make anyone's day truly unforgettable. So sit back, because this isn't just about an old coin, it's about how a small piece of metal from 1978 became a treasure worth a fortune. Let's begin with a little time travel back to the late 1970s, a time of cultural transformation, disco lights, and major shifts in American society. The year 1978 was the tail end of an incredible decade marked by innovation, art, and a growing fascination with American symbols. Among those symbols stood the Washington quarter, a coin that had already become a classic piece of American identity since it first appeared in 1932. The 1978 quarter carries the enduring image of George Washington, designed by the sculptor John Flanagan. His portrait of the first U.S. president was originally created to celebrate the bicentennial of Washington's birth, but its elegance and simplicity made it a timeless design that continues to grace our quarters even today. The obverse, or the front side of the coin, features the dignified profile of Washington, facing left, with the inscriptions, Liberty, at the top, In God We Trust, to the left, and the year, 1978, at the bottom. Now, turn it over, and you'll find the reverse side, a majestic bald eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching arrows of strength and a laurel branch symbolizing peace. Above it, you'll read, United States of America, and just below that, the proud phrase, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. At the bottom rests the denomination, $quarter. Every detail on this coin carries meaning, a reflection of America's balance between strength and unity. The 1978 quarter was minted at three major U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia quarters have no mint mark, the Denver coins bear the D mint mark, and the San Francisco ones proudly show an S. The mint mark is a small but vital clue when determining a coin's origin and potential value. Millions of these coins rolled off the presses, but here's where the magic begins: not all coins are created equal. Some have minor imperfections, minting errors, or special conditions that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. A small variation in the minting process could turn an ordinary 25-cent coin into one worth thousands of dollars. Let's take a closer look at what makes certain 1978 quarters so valuable. One of the key factors in determining a coin's worth is its condition, known in the numismatic world as its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. If a 1978 quarter has been preserved in pristine condition, with sharp details, bright luster, and no scratches or wear, it can fetch a premium far beyond its face value. Uncirculated or proof coins from this year, especially those still in their original mint packaging, can be particularly desirable. Proof coins were produced mainly by the San Francisco Mint in smaller quantities, using special dies and polished planchets to create mirror-like finishes. These proof versions of the 1978 quarter are a collector's delight, often admired for their incredible shine and detail. Then come the error coins, and these are where the true treasures often lie. Minting errors occur when something unusual happens during the coin production process. It might be a misaligned die, a double strike, an off-center strike, or even a missing mint mark. Such rare mistakes make each coin one of a kind, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. For example, a 1978 quarter with a double die error on Washington's face or the inscriptions can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another known error type is the off-center strike, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't aligned properly during minting. These quirky imperfections turn ordinary coins into exceptional finds that tell a story of human craftsmanship and imperfection. Let's not forget the metal composition that gives this coin its distinctive look and feel. The 1978 Washington quarter is made of a clad composition, meaning it's not silver but a mixture of copper and nickel. Specifically, the outer layer is 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Although silver quarters were phased out after 1964, the copper-nickel blend introduced in the late 1960s helped the U.S. Mint produce durable coins for everyday use while preserving that familiar silvery sheen. Even though the 1978 quarter isn't silver, its nostalgic appeal and rarity in high-grade condition have made it a favorite among collectors. Those lucky enough to find an untouched or error version could be sitting on a small fortune. Let's talk about market trends. Over the years, coin collecting, or numismatics, has seen tremendous growth, especially with the rise of online auctions and marketplaces. Collectors and investors alike constantly seek coins with historical importance, limited mintages, and aesthetic appeal. The 1978 quarter fits that mold perfectly because it's one of the last Washington quarters before the design changes and special commemorative editions that began appearing in the 1990s. In today's collector market, even a regular 1978 quarter in mint condition can fetch a few dollars to several hundred, depending on its grade and rarity. But the rarest finds, those with special minting errors or exceptionally well-preserved conditions, have been known to sell for astonishing amounts at auctions. Imagine holding a coin that looks like any other quarter, only to discover it's a rare variation that collectors around the world are willing to pay thousands for. That's the thrill of coin hunting. You never know what treasure might be hiding in your pocket change. Many collectors share incredible stories of stumbling upon valuable coins in everyday situations. Some find them in old jars, inherited collections, or even change from a vending machine. And among those incredible discoveries, a few lucky ones have uncovered rare 1978 quarters that turned out to be worth more than anyone expected. The key is to know what to look for. When examining a 1978 quarter, pay close attention to the mint mark, the edges, and the overall design. Look for any doubling of letters or numbers, missing details, or odd shapes in the rim. A small difference that most people might overlook could make a world of difference in value. Collectors also emphasize the importance of preservation. Handling coins with care, avoiding fingerprints, and storing them in protective holders or capsules can help maintain their condition for years to come. A well-preserved coin is always worth more than one that's been handled carelessly or exposed to the elements. The historical and cultural value of the 1978 quarter also plays a huge role in its continued popularity. This coin represents more than just currency. It symbolizes American pride and continuity. From the Great Depression to the space age, the Washington quarter has been a constant companion in everyday life, a silent witness to decades of history. Even today, coin enthusiasts marvel at the craftsmanship behind the Washington quarter series. Each year tells a story of evolving technology, artistic expression, and national identity. And the 1978 edition holds a special place as part of that lineage, marking the end of an era before the modern changes that transformed the U.S. quarter in the years that followed. Now let's imagine the excitement of discovering one of the most valuable 1978 quarters ever recorded, a coin that was struck with a rare minting error, perfectly preserved over the decades, and eventually brought to auction. The buzz among collectors was electric as bidding escalated higher and higher. When the final hammer came down, that single 1978 mint mark quarter dollar sold for an incredible $50,260. Yes, that's right, a coin that once had a face value of just 25 cents turned into a breathtaking treasure worth $50,260. It's stories like these that keep collectors passionate, curious, and hopeful that one day, their next find could be the jackpot. So, what's the takeaway from all this? The 1978 quarter isn't just another old coin, it's a reminder of how history, craftsmanship, and chance can combine to create hidden value in the most unexpected places. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, it's always worth taking a closer look at the coins you have. We are diving deep into the story of a coin that might look ordinary but holds an incredible history and surprising value, the 1981 Washington quarter dollar coin. Yes, this small piece of metal minted over 4 decades ago can actually be worth thousands of dollars today depending on its condition, rarity, and unique features. So if you have a 1981 quarter lying around in your change jar or coin collection, stay tuned till the very end, because you might be holding something far more valuable than just 25 cents. Let's start our journey by going back to the year 1981. The early 1980s were an interesting time for coin collectors. The U.S. Mint was producing millions of coins to meet the country's growing demand for circulation currency. However, despite the huge mintage numbers, not every coin came out perfectly identical. Some had unique variations, minting errors, or special qualities that turned them into rare treasures over time. The 1981 D Washington Quarter is one of those coins that can surprise collectors due to its potential high value, historical charm, and rarity in certain conditions. The Washington Quarter has a rich legacy. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States, this coin quickly became a beloved symbol of American pride and history. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse features a bold portrait of George Washington facing left, while the reverse shows the majestic eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. The 1981 D version continued this iconic design, but with the mint mark, D, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail, signifying that it was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado. Now, let's talk about how many of these coins were made. In 1981, the Denver Mint struck an enormous number of Washington quarters, over 575 million coins to be exact. With such a large mintage, it's easy to assume that these coins are common and not worth more than their face value. But that's not entirely true. While most 1981 D quarters are indeed common, a small number of them were struck with extraordinary precision, exceptional luster, or unique errors that make them incredibly rare and valuable today. To truly understand the worth of the 1981 D quarter, we need to look at what makes some coins stand out from the rest. Collectors and grading experts judge coins based on several factors, such as mint state condition, strike quality, luster, and surface preservation. The best way to determine this is through professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. A coin in perfect mint state, graded as MS67 or higher, can fetch an impressive price among collectors. These coins are often described as gem quality, meaning they have nearly flawless surfaces and full original mint luster. Many people are surprised to learn that small differences like scratches, marks, or slight wear can drastically affect a coin's value. A 1981 D quarter that has been in circulation and shows signs of wear might only be worth face value, 25 cents. However, one that has been preserved in pristine condition, untouched for decades, can easily be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another fascinating detail about the 1981 D quarter is the type of material used. This coin is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, meaning it has an inner core of pure copper and an outer layer of nickel, giving it that distinctive silvery appearance. This was a significant change from the earlier silver quarters that were produced before 1965. Even though the 1981 D quarter doesn't contain silver, it can still carry great collector value because of its rarity and mint quality. Error coins from this year can be especially valuable. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin production process, and these mistakes often create one-of-a-kind coins that collectors are eager to find. Some of the most sought-after errors include double strikes, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and die cracks. For example, a 1981 D quarter with a noticeable off-center strike, where part of the design is missing or misaligned, can be worth several $100s depending on the degree of error. Similarly, coins with die cracks or die chips, small raised areas caused by cracks in the minting die, are also collectible and can increase the value significantly. Another major factor influencing a coin's worth is the overall rarity of high-grade examples. Even though millions of 1981 D quarters were minted, only a handful have survived in perfect uncirculated condition. Coins that are graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are extremely rare, making them highly desirable among serious collectors. These high-grade coins often display sharp details in Washington's hair, bold eagle feathers, and strong rim definition. The luster appears like a mirror under light, reflecting the craftsmanship of the minting process at its best. For those who are new to coin collecting or curious about how to check if their 1981 D quarter might be valuable, here are a few helpful tips. First, carefully inspect your coin under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for the D mint mark near Washington's ponytail. This identifies it as a Denver Mint coin. Then, check for signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. The fewer imperfections, the better. Next, look at the edges and surfaces for any unusual patterns or errors. Finally, if your coin appears to be in exceptional condition, consider having it professionally graded. This will not only authenticate your coin but also give you a clear idea of its market value. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the historical context of the 1981 D quarter. During the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was transitioning into new technological methods to improve coin production. The minting equipment was becoming more efficient, but occasional mechanical issues still led to the creation of rare mint errors. Additionally, 1981 was the final year before the introduction of the new 1982 quarters, which featured subtle design and production differences. This makes the 1981 issues, especially those from Denver, significant to collectors who love transitional year coins. Collectors also value the 1981 D quarter as part of the larger Washington Quarter series that ran from 1932 all the way to 1998. Many coin enthusiasts try to collect a complete set, featuring one coin from each year and mint mark. For these collectors, finding a high-grade 1981 D quarter can be a challenge, which further increases demand and market value. When it comes to market demand, the value of coins like the 1981 D quarter tends to rise and fall over time depending on collector interest and availability. However, rare high-grade examples or coins with unique errors consistently attract strong bids at auctions and private sales. In fact, there have been instances where pristine examples have fetched thousands of dollars due to their rarity and exceptional condition. The emotional and historical connection people feel toward coins like the 1981 D quarter also adds to their allure. Holding a coin that has traveled through time, possibly passed through countless hands since 1981, can feel like holding a tiny piece of history. Each coin tells a story, of the people who used it, the era it came from, and the craftsmanship of the mint that produced it. One of the most exciting things for collectors is the possibility of discovering a rare gem hidden in plain sight. You could check your old coin jars, inherited collections, or even your pocket change and come across a coin that has been waiting decades to reveal its true worth. The 1981 D Washington Quarter is one such coin that proves how everyday objects can hold hidden value and mystery. It's also worth mentioning that professional coin grading can dramatically increase the value of your coin when you decide to sell it. A coin authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC provides buyers with confidence in its authenticity and condition, which can result in much higher selling prices. Some coin enthusiasts even store their rare quarters in airtight holders to protect them from dust, fingerprints, and environmental damage, ensuring they retain their shine and condition for years to come. In today's digital era, online marketplaces, auctions, and coin shows have made it easier than ever to buy, sell, and trade rare coins. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections frequently feature 1981 D quarters, with prices varying widely depending on grade and rarity. For those serious about coin collecting, attending coin conventions or joining numismatic associations can be an excellent way to connect with other collectors, learn more, and discover opportunities to find rare coins. The true magic of coin collecting is that it combines history, art, and value all in one small metallic disc. Each coin, no matter how small, represents a piece of America's past, the craftsmanship, the economy, and the legacy of a nation. The 1981 D Washington Quarter continues to capture the interest of collectors because it stands as a reminder that even in a time when millions of coins were made, only a few remain in immaculate, valuable condition. We're going to dive deep into the story, history, and incredible value of one very special coin, the 1987 D Mint Mark United States Quarter Dollar. This small coin, born in the Denver Mint, has grown to become one of the most fascinating pieces in the world of numismatics. So stay tuned until the end, because the final value of this coin will absolutely surprise you. Let's begin our journey back to the year 1987. The United States was in a time of transition and modern innovation. Ronald Reagan was president, the economy was booming, and people were obsessed with the latest technologies, from VHS tapes to the first wave of home computers. Yet, even in that era of progress, the Mint continued its age-old tradition of producing coins that represented America's spirit, strength, freedom, and unity. Among those coins was the 1987 D Washington Quarter, carrying not just its face value of 25 cents, but an entire story hidden in its metal. The D Mint mark on this quarter tells us it was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, one of the primary coin-producing facilities of the United States Mint system. The Denver Mint has long been known for its precision and the high quality of its coinage. In 1987, millions of quarters were produced, but as we'll soon discover, not every one of them was ordinary. Some held unique qualities, errors, and minting characteristics that make them incredibly rare and valuable today. The obverse, or front side, of the 1987 D quarter features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This image has been an American icon since 1932, when it was first introduced to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. Around the portrait are the words, "Liberty," at the top, "In God We Trust," to the left, and the mint year, 1987, at the bottom. Just beside the ribbon on Washington's neck, you can spot that small but significant letter, D, marking its origin at the Denver Mint. The reverse side continues the classic Washington quarter design, a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows in its talons, a symbol of America's readiness to defend freedom. The eagle is surrounded by the words, "United States of America," at the top and "E pluribus unum," just above its head. Below the eagle, we see the denomination, quarter dollar. This design remained unchanged for decades until the State Quarters series began in 1999, making the 1987 issues part of the last generation of classic Washington quarters. Now, at first glance, you might think the 1987 D quarter is just another regular coin, something you might find in your pocket change or hiding at the bottom of an old jar. But not all coins are created equal. What separates an ordinary coin from one worth thousands of dollars often comes down to a combination of factors: mint errors, condition, rarity, and collector demand. Let's start with the basics. The 1987 D quarter was made primarily from a copper-nickel clad composition, featuring an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. Each coin weighs about 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. While these details might sound routine, the real excitement lies in the minting process itself, a process that sometimes produces remarkable errors or unique variations that turn an everyday coin into a treasure point. One of the most sought-after categories among collectors is mint errors. These can include double strikes, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or even wrong planchet errors where the coin is struck on metal intended for a different denomination. For the 1987 D quarter, certain examples with dramatic striking errors have sold for astounding prices at auctions. For instance, a coin with an off-center strike that clearly displays a missing section of the design can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Another type of rarity that excites collectors is the condition of the coin, also known as its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. A grade of MS 70, or Mint State Perfect, represents a flawless coin with no visible imperfections even under magnification. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Most 1987 D quarters in circulation today are heavily worn, showing scratches, discoloration, and dull surfaces from years of use. But those few surviving in pristine mint condition, with brilliant luster and sharp details, can bring in significant money. In fact, in auctions across the United States, some top-graded 1987 D quarters have reached astonishing prices. When collectors compete for the best of the best, prices skyrocket. The reason is simple: scarcity. While millions were minted, only a handful remain in top condition after decades of circulation. And for collectors building high-end registry sets, owning the highest-graded example of a particular coin can mean everything. But beyond the grading and mint errors, the 1987 D quarter holds nostalgic and historical value as well. It's part of the final years before the launch of the State Quarter program, marking the end of a long chapter in U.S. coinage design. Many collectors view these late 1980s quarters as the last of the classic Washington issues, unaltered by the thematic designs that would later define the series. Let's take a closer look at what makes the Denver Mint coins from 1987 stand out. The Denver Mint's production that year was quite large, but the coin quality varied. Some coins came out of the press with strong strikes and well-defined details, while others were slightly weak, showing less sharpness in the eagle's feathers or Washington's hair. That subtle difference can mean hundreds of dollars in collector value when certified by grading experts. Now imagine a coin that combines all the best traits: perfectly centered, brilliant luster, no scratches, and a crisp strike with sharp details. Add in the fact that it's a rare survivor in mint state condition, and you have a coin that collectors would eagerly battle over in auction rooms or online bidding wars. That's exactly what has happened with some of the finest examples of the 1987 D quarter. Let's also not forget about die varieties, subtle differences created by the dies used to strike the coins. Certain 1987 D quarters show small variations in lettering, spacing, or details that make them unique. These varieties, though sometimes hard to spot, can be highly collectible once identified by experts. Many coin collectors today have found 1987 D quarters in old rolls, inherited collections, or even pocket change without realizing their potential worth. Some people toss them aside, unaware that one small mint mark or tiny error could make all the difference between a 25-cent coin and one worth thousands of dollars. It's always important to check the surfaces of your coins carefully. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers, misaligned edges, or any other irregularities. Even a slightly off-center strike or an unusually bright finish can be a sign that your coin is something special. And if you ever find a 1987 D quarter in outstanding condition, it's worth getting it graded. You might just be holding a rare gem. Collectors often emphasize that the key to success in coin collecting is knowledge. The more you learn about mint marks, errors, varieties, and grading standards, the better your chances of discovering something valuable. The 1987 D quarter is a perfect example of this principle. It proves that even modern-era coins can hold surprising value when the right combination of rarity and condition comes together. This coin also tells a story about American craftsmanship. Each piece was struck by heavy machinery that stamped intricate designs onto blank metal discs with immense pressure, a process repeated millions of times a day. Yet, out of all those countless strikes, only a few stand out as flawless or unique. Those few are the coins that make history. Imagine finding one of these coins in your change. At first, it might seem like just another quarter, but upon closer inspection, the condition and details could reveal that you're holding something worth far more than its face value. It's this sense of mystery and discovery that keeps collectors around the world fascinated by coins like the 1987 D quarter. We're diving deep into one of the most intriguing pieces of modern American coinage, the 2004 D 1845 Washington $quarter coin. This coin, with its distinctive mint mark and historical design, is more than just pocket change. It's a piece of history that has captured the hearts of collectors around the world. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this specific quarter stands out, how to identify its key details, and why one rare version of it has been valued at a staggering $34,260. So grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to uncover hidden treasures in plain sight. The story of the 2004 D 1845 Washington quarter begins in the early 2000s, during one of the most exciting periods in American coin production history, the State Quarters Program. Launched in 1999 by the United States Mint, this program aimed to honor all 50 states by releasing unique quarter designs every year. Each coin celebrated the culture, history, and landmarks of a specific state. By 2004, the program had already ignited a nationwide collecting frenzy. Every year, millions of Americans checked their change hoping to find a new design, and coin roll hunting became a fun hobby for families and collectors alike. Now, the 2004 D Mint mark refers to the coin struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive mints in the country. The D Mint mark can be found just below the motto, "In God We Trust," on the coin's obverse side, right beside the portrait of George Washington. This letter, D, is more than just a mark, it tells the story of where the coin was born. The Denver Mint, located in Colorado, has produced billions of coins throughout its history, and the 2004 D series was no exception. However, within that massive production, a few coins emerged that carried something unique, a minting error, a striking flaw, or an unexpected variation that would later make them incredibly valuable to collectors. To understand why the 2004 D 1845 quarter holds so much significance, we must look at its design. On the obverse, we see the classic portrait of George Washington, a design first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. Sculpted by John Flanagan, this portrait has stood the test of time, representing strength, leadership, and the birth of the nation. The inscriptions, United States of America, Liberty, and quarter dollar, surround the image, framing it in a timeless way that has become a symbol of American pride. The reverse side of the 2004 D1845 quarter, depending on the state it represents, features an intricate design dedicated to that state's heritage. One of the most popular among collectors is the Texas State Quarter, which was indeed released in 2004. It showcases a large five-pointed star, the Lone Star, placed over a textured outline of the state, with the inscription, the Lone Star State, and the year 1845, marking the year Texas joined the Union. The reverse design was created by artist Norman E. Namath and perfectly captures Texas' independence spirit and history. The mix of 1845 and 2004 on the same coin instantly gives it historical depth. It connects the past with the present, making it a beautiful symbol of unity and state pride. Now, you might be wondering, what makes some of these 2004 D1845 quarters so valuable? After all, hundreds of millions were minted. The secret lies in the details. Not every coin leaves the mint in perfect condition. Some are struck with errors, misaligned dies, or doubled features. Others might be preserved in such pristine condition that collectors are willing to pay thousands to add them to their collection. These variations are what drive up a coin's market value, transforming ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. For example, some 2004 D Texas quarters have been discovered with a double die error, where parts of the design, such as the letters or the star, appear slightly duplicated or blurry under magnification. This kind of error happens during the minting process when the die imprints the coin twice, slightly off from the first strike. Such errors are rare and highly sought after by collectors because they show the imperfections of minting, a small mistake that turns a common coin into something truly one of a kind. Depending on the quality and visibility of the doubling, these coins can range from a few $100s to several thousand in auctions. Another major factor influencing value is condition. Coin grading plays a critical role here. A coin graded as MS-60 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC means it has remained uncirculated, showing no signs of wear or handling. These coins shine brilliantly and have sharp details. A 2004 D1845 quarter in this flawless state is far more valuable than one that has been in circulation for years. Collectors and investors look for these top-grade examples to preserve history in its purest form. There's also the aspect of rarity within the minting batch. Even though the Denver Mint produced millions of Texas quarters, not all survived in collectible condition. Many were used in daily transactions, worn down over time, or lost. The surviving high-quality ones are what make headlines at coin shows and online auctions. Every year, coin enthusiasts discover rare varieties hidden in their pocket change, proving that treasures still circulate among us. Speaking of treasures, one remarkable 2004 D1845 Washington $quarter coin recently made history in the coin collecting community. In an auction, this particular coin fetched an impressive sum, a reflection of its exceptional condition and unique characteristics. It was one of the finest known examples of its kind, with a mirror-like surface, deep strikes, and stunning visual appeal. Collectors went head-to-head, bidding higher and higher, determined to own this piece of American history. When the final gavel came down, the coin sold for $34,260. That's right, a single quarter, just 25 cents in face value, transformed into a small fortune. Stories like this continue to fuel the excitement in the numismatic world. Imagine finding a coin like that in your own collection, tucked away in an old jar or hidden in pocket change. It's possible, and that's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. Every coin tells a story, and every one of them carries potential. Sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference. The placement of a mint mark, the sharpness of a strike, or even a small error invisible to the naked eye could mean thousands of dollars in hidden value. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 2004 D1845 quarter? Start by examining the mint mark and the overall condition of the coin. Look for the D mint mark indicating the Denver Mint. Then, inspect the surfaces carefully for any signs of doubling, cracks, or unusual textures. A magnifying glass or digital microscope can reveal details you might otherwise miss. Coins with crisp edges, clear lettering, and strong luster are always worth a closer look. If you suspect your coin could be special, consider having it professionally graded. A certified grade not only authenticates your coin but can also significantly increase its market value. Beyond value, what truly makes the 2004 D1845 quarter fascinating is its connection to American history and identity. The combination of 1845 and 2004 symbolizes 159 years of growth, unity, and change. From the time Texas joined the Union to the time it was honored on the U.S. quarter, this coin reflects the enduring spirit of the nation. It reminds us that each state's story contributes to the larger American narrative, and these quarters serve as a tangible way to celebrate that. Collectors love the 2004 series not only for Texas but also for the other states released that same year: Iowa, Florida, Michigan, and Wisconsin, each with unique designs and stories of their own. However, the Texas quarter remains one of the most popular among them, often commanding higher prices, especially in rare varieties or error strikes. Its bold star, rich symbolism, and beautiful engraving make it stand out even among modern coinage. Over the years, many collectors have shared stories of discovering unexpected treasures, a shiny quarter found in pocket change that turned out to be worth thousands. Some inherited collections have revealed forgotten gems. And sometimes, a small coin in a jar of loose change can change someone's financial life. That's the magic of numismatics, the study and love of coins. It teaches patience, attention to detail, and a deep appreciation for history that if you're new to coin collecting, the 2004 D1845 quarter is an excellent coin to start learning from. It's modern enough to find in circulation but old enough to have interesting variations. Search through your coins, check the dates and mint marks, and you might be surprised by what you find. Remember to handle coins carefully, hold them by the edges and avoid touching the surfaces, as oils from your fingers can reduce their grade. Store them in protective holders to maintain their condition over time. We're diving deep into one very interesting and often overlooked coin, the 2006 D1867 mint mark Washington $quarter coin. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary 25-cent piece that you'd find jingling in your pocket change, but trust me, this coin carries a surprising story, unique history, and an incredible value that might just shock you. So grab your magnifying glass, coin book, or even your old jar of spare change, because you never know, you could be sitting on a small fortune without realizing it. Let's start at the beginning. The 2006 D quarter belongs to the famous Washington quarter series, one of the longest-running and most beloved designs in American coinage. But this particular quarter stands out because it marks the final years of the state quarter program, one of the most successful numismatic programs in U.S. mint history. Between 1999 and 2008, each year celebrated 5 different states with unique reverse designs, encouraging millions of Americans to collect coins for the very first time. The 2006 D quarter represents this exciting time when coin collecting was booming, and the mint was experimenting with new technologies and finishes. The mint mark D on this coin stands for the Denver Mint, located in Colorado, facility known for producing billions of coins every year. However, not all quarters struck there were identical. Among them were a few coins that contained minting errors, misalignments, and die cracks that made them incredibly rare and highly sought after. And that's where the story of our 2006 D1867 mint mark quarter truly begins. Now, the 1867 marking confuses many people. On some rare quarters from 2006, a faint double impression of numbers can appear due to die deterioration or over-polished dies. Some collectors have found what looks like an additional date mark overlapping the main year. These unusual features often happen when dies are used past their prime, causing doubling or ghost-like numbers to appear. Whether the result of mechanical doubling or a die clash, this 1867-like appearance has become legendary among collectors, especially when combined with the Denver mint mark. Let's take a closer look at the design details. On the obverse side of the coin, we see the proud profile of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan back in 1932. His strong features, the high forehead, and the calm yet determined gaze represent leadership, courage, and the very spirit of the nation. Above his head sits the word liberty, while just to the left we see the motto, "In God We Trust." Below Washington's neck, the mint mark D stands clearly, and beneath it, the date 2006, though in rare cases, you might notice the faint shadow of that mysterious 1867 impression. The reverse side depends on the specific state design issued in 2006, such as Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, North Dakota, or South Dakota. Each of these state designs holds symbolic meaning. For example, the Nevada quarter features galloping wild mustangs with snow-capped mountains in the background, representing freedom and endurance. Nebraska's shows a covered wagon crossing the plains, highlighting America's pioneering spirit. Colorado's quarter depicts the majestic Rocky Mountains and evergreens, symbolizing natural beauty and strength. Every one of these designs carries artistic detail that can vary from coin to coin, and that's exactly where hidden value often hides. A tiny difference in the strike, a misalignment, or even an extra leaf or line can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Now, let's talk about the composition of the coin. The 2006 D Washington quarter is made of a copper-nickel clad, with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of nickel. This gives it that familiar silvery shine we all know. The coin weighs about 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters. It features a reeded edge, those small vertical ridges around the side that not only prevent counterfeiting but also give the coin that crisp sound when it's dropped on a table. However, what truly sets certain 2006 D quarters apart are minting mistakes. Collectors love coins with errors, and some of the most valuable examples come from small mistakes that escape the mint's strict quality control. Double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or die cracks can all dramatically raise a coin's value. For example, a double die obverse where Washington's face appears slightly shadowed or doubled can fetch hundreds of dollars. A quarter with missing lettering, or one struck on the wrong metal planchet, can reach into the thousands. One of the most exciting types of errors seen on 2006 D quarters involves the appearance of numbers or letters from a previously used die, sometimes leaving faint ghost marks that resemble earlier years like 1867. When this happens, it's called a die clash, and the results can be visually striking and extremely collectible. Such coins are carefully examined and certified by grading companies like PCGS and NGC, who authenticate and assign a grade that helps determine the coin's market price. Speaking of grading, let's talk about condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A heavily circulated 2006 D quarter might only be worth its face value, but one in mint state, especially graded MS65 or higher, can be worth far more. Mint state coins retain their original luster, with sharp details and no visible wear. Higher grades like MS67 or MS68 are rare because even a small nick or scuff from machine handling can lower the score. Collectors are willing to pay big money for pristine examples, especially when combined with an error or unusual die marking. Now, picture this: you're sorting through an old coin jar, and among the modern change, you notice a 2006 D quarter that looks slightly different. You turn it under the light, and beneath the date, you see an unusual shadow, like the faint outline of extra numbers. Could it be the 1867 marking we're talking about? That small detail could be the difference between a regular 25-cent coin and a piece of history worth thousands. These rare finds are what make coin collecting so thrilling. Every discovery tells a story, not just about the minting process, but about the passage of time and the connection between people and their money. Coins have traveled through countless hands, witnessed history, and survived decades of change. To hold a coin with a minting anomaly is to hold a piece of that living history. The United States Mint produced over 1 billion quarters in 2006, but among that ocean of coins, only a tiny fraction contained unique variations. Most collectors estimate that fewer than a few dozen examples of the 2006 D with the distinct 1867 style impression or similar die anomaly exist today. That extreme rarity, combined with its excellent condition, makes these coins highly desirable among numismatists and investors alike. So, how do you know if your 2006 D quarter might be special? Start by examining the date area with a magnifying lens. Look closely at the numbers. Any sign of doubling, misalignment, or faint extra digits is a good indicator. Check the mint mark D as well. Sometimes it appears slightly tilted or filled due to die wear. Also, Pay attention to the edge and fields of the coin. Tiny cracks or raised metal areas might indicate a die break, which can increase its value. Finally, look for any discoloration or unusual texture that might reveal a missing clad layer or striking issue. If you think you found something interesting, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and reduce its value significantly. Instead, handle it gently by the edges and consider sending it to a professional grading service. Certification not only verifies authenticity but can also raise the resale value dramatically. The coin market fluctuates, but rare varieties like the 2006 D1867 impression quarter remain steady favorites. They combine modern appeal with the thrill of discovery, and collectors love coins that bridge the old and new. A coin minted in 2006 yet carrying the ghost of 1867 creates a powerful story, almost like a time machine pressed in metal. Numismatists often describe these kinds of coins as historical echoes, where design, machinery, and time itself overlap in fascinating ways. The Denver Mint, with its long tradition of craftsmanship, occasionally produced these mysterious results, making each discovery a talking point in collector circles and online auctions. On auction sites, these coins have attracted competitive bidding wars, with collectors eager to own a piece that blends mystery and rarity. One well-preserved example in high mint state condition, displaying that faint 1867 marking, recently stunned experts when it sold for an impressive sum. Beyond the price tag, though, what truly matters is the connection these coins give us to history. Every coin tells a tale, of design evolution, human error, and the relentless march of time. The Washington Quarter, introduced to honor the first President of the United States, has seen the nation through wars, space exploration, and social change. It has adapted to new technologies, new metals, and new designs, yet it still carries that same enduring symbol of liberty and trust. The 2006 D1867 Mint Mark Quarter is a continuation of that legacy, a reminder that even modern coins can hold surprises just as fascinating as ancient treasures. We are uncovering the story behind a modern coin that has quietly captured the attention of collectors all around the world, the 2015 P Mint Mark $quarter coin. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter you'd find in your pocket change, but as we'll soon discover, certain varieties and conditions of this coin can be worth far more than their face value. So, get ready as we explore the history, minting details, errors, and incredible values that make the 2015 P quarter one of the modern treasures hiding in plain sight. Let's start from the beginning. The year 2015 was an important one for the U.S. Mint because it was right in the middle of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a special series that began in 2010 and ran through 2021. Each year, the Mint released 5 different designs representing national parks and landmarks from various states. The 2015 quarters celebrated 5 incredible sites: Homestead National Monument of America in Nebraska, Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, Blue Ridge Parkway in North Carolina, Bombay Hook National Wildlife Refuge in Delaware, and Saratoga National Historical Park in New York. Each of these coins was minted at 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The one we're focusing on today, the 2015 P quarter, was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, marked by the letter P just beside Washington's portrait on the obverse side. Now, while millions of these were produced, not all coins are created equal. Some special examples with errors, rare varieties, or extraordinary conditions can sell for unbelievable amounts of money. But before we dive into the values, let's take a closer look at the design and composition of this modern quarter. The obverse, or front, features the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and first introduced in 1932. His image has been a constant on the quarter for over 90 years, symbolizing the strength and leadership of the nation's first president. The inscriptions include United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and, of course, the denomination, $quarter. Flip the coin to the reverse, and you'll find one of 5 stunning designs from the 2015 series. Each design was carefully chosen to highlight America's natural beauty and historic legacy. The Homestead Quarter, for instance, shows a log cabin, a well pump, and wheat, representing early settlers' struggle and perseverance. The Kisatchie Quarter features a wild turkey in flight, surrounded by longleaf pine trees, capturing the spirit of Louisiana's wilderness. The Blue Ridge Parkway coin shows the scenic road curving along the mountains of North Carolina, while the Bombay Hook quarter depicts graceful egrets wading in Delaware's wetlands. Finally, the Saratoga quarter honors the moment of British surrender during the American Revolution, a powerful reminder of the nation's independence. Now, let's talk about what really excites collectors: the minting quality, the possible errors, and those rare hidden treasures that can turn a 25-cent coin into a small fortune. Starting with the basics. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion quarters in 2015, spread across these 5 designs. That may sound like a huge number, and it is, but the rarity comes from condition and error variations. When coins are struck under perfect conditions, with sharp details, no scratches, and a flawless surface, they are often graded as mint state, ranging from MS-60 up to the nearly perfect MS-70. Coins at the higher end of this scale can command big prices at auctions because they represent the finest examples in existence. However, beyond condition, what really makes the 2015 P quarters interesting are the error coins. The US Mint is one of the most advanced in the world, but even with high precision, mistakes happen, and those mistakes can make a coin extremely valuable. Some collectors have reported 2015 P quarters with doubled dies, where parts of the design appear duplicated due to misalignment during the striking process. On the Homestead quarter, for instance, a popular error shows extra water lines near the pump handle or roof area, creating a striking visual doubling. Others have found cuds, die cracks, or off-center strikes, each of which can boost a coin's desirability dramatically. Then there are coins struck on the wrong planchets, meaning they were accidentally made using metal blanks intended for other denominations, like nickels or dimes. These are incredibly rare and almost always bring high auction results. When we look at sales records and collector demand, the 2015 P quarters have consistently performed well, especially for examples graded MS-67 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Some pristine examples have fetched hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on which design and error type they exhibit. For example, one extraordinary 2015 P Homestead quarter in superb condition was sold at a major coin auction for several $1,000s due to its sharp details and stunning eye appeal. Collectors are particularly drawn to the Homestead and Saratoga designs, as these series tend to show the most striking die varieties. Now, let's talk about how to identify if your 2015 P quarter might be worth more than face value. First, look closely at the coin's condition. If it still has its original mint luster, shows no scratches, and the edges are crisp, it's worth examining further. You might consider investing in a magnifying glass or even a digital microscope, as some of the doubling and error details are very subtle to the naked eye. Second, pay attention to the mint mark. The small letter P stands for Philadelphia and is located on the obverse side, just next to Washington's ponytail. Third, check the design details for anything unusual, doubled lettering, extra lines, or misaligned edges. If you notice anything odd, it could be a valuable error coin. The coin market today values modern error quarters more than ever because of the growing number of new collectors entering the hobby. With social media, YouTube, and online coin communities, people are learning how to hunt for these hidden treasures in their own change. Another factor that adds value is rarity within a specific grade. For instance, a 2015 P quarter graded MS-68 by PCGS might be one of only a few known examples in that grade. When supply is low and demand is high, the price skyrockets. That's why serious collectors often submit their coins for professional grading to authenticate and protect their investment. But even if you don't have a high-grade coin, don't be discouraged. Many 2015 P quarters with interesting minting errors have sold on eBay and other marketplaces for impressive prices. Coins with off-center strikes, die chips, or missing letters can all attract premium bids from error coin enthusiasts. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate the broader importance of this coin. The 2015 quarter represents a piece of modern American history. Each design captures a part of the country's natural beauty and heritage, making these coins miniature works of art that also tell a story. They connect collectors and everyday Americans alike to the nation's past, reminding us that history is literally in our hands. Over the years, the America the Beautiful quarters have become one of the most popular collectible series since the State Quarters program that ran from 1999 to 2008. While millions of people collected the earlier State Quarters, many have now turned their attention to the ATB series, seeking out pristine examples, silver proofs, and rare errors. The 2015 series holds a special place among them because of its artistic designs and the high demand for certain varieties. So, how much could a rare 2015 P quarter really be worth today? That depends on its condition, type of error, and market demand. In general, circulated examples are worth their face value, 25 cents. However, uncirculated coins in mint state condition, especially those with unique varieties, can bring in significant profits. A collector's dream coin is one that's both rare and visually stunning, and some of the 2015 P quarters certainly fit that description. The combination of sharp strikes, minimal wear, and brilliant luster can make these coins stand out dramatically in any collection. Auction records continue to show strong demand for modern quarters, and as more collectors search for hidden gems, the prices for high-grade and error coins continue to climb. So, if you have a jar of coins at home or some old change lying around, it's worth taking a second look, because you might just be holding a valuable piece of American minting history without even realizing it. To summarize, the 2015 P Mint Mark $quarter coin is far more than an everyday piece of pocket change. It's a part of a grand numismatic story, a tale of artistry, craftsmanship, and discovery. Whether it's the Homestead, Kisatchie, Blue Ridge Parkway, Bombay Hook, or Saratoga design, each coin has its own character and potential. With certain examples selling for thousands, these coins prove that even modern change can hold extraordinary value. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2017 D Mint Mark $quarter coin. A coin that many of us have seen and used every day without ever realizing it might be hiding an incredible secret. Yes, this ordinary-looking piece of change could be worth much more than its face value, especially if you happen to hold a rare version. So stay tuned till the end because this story is full of surprises, interesting facts, and real collector excitement. The year 2017 was an important one for the United States Mint. It marked a continuation of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which began in 2010 and celebrated national parks and historical sites from every state and territory across the country. Each year, 5 unique designs were released, and 2017 was no exception. These quarters were more than just coins, they were miniature works of art, carefully crafted to capture the essence of America's heritage, landscapes, and values. Now, let's focus on the 2017 D Mint Mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the main facilities of the United States Mint system, located in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint has a long and proud history of producing coins with precise craftsmanship, and in 2017, it struck millions of quarters as part of the America the Beautiful series. But not all coins are created equal, some carry small differences, unique marks, and errors that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Before we get into the rare varieties and potential value, let's talk a bit about the design and artistry behind these coins. The 2017 quarters featured 5 distinct designs honoring 5 remarkable American sites. These were Effigy Mounds National Monument in Iowa, Frederick Douglass National Historic Site in Washington, D.C., Ozark National Scenic Riverways in Missouri, Ellis Island, located in New Jersey, George Rogers Clark National Historical Park in Indiana. Each of these designs was beautifully engraved, capturing both natural beauty and moments from our country's history. On the obverse side, all 2017 quarters share the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and first used in 1932. Washington's portrait has been an enduring symbol of the American quarter for decades, but when it comes to value, collectors look beyond the design. They look at the mint mark, the strike, the condition, and most importantly, any errors or special varieties that slipped through the minting process. These small mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. The 2017 D Mint Mark quarters were struck in large quantities, but some of them have characteristics that set them apart from the rest. Error coins can include double die obverse, die cracks, off-center strikes, and other minting anomalies that make them truly unique. These rare coins often fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, depending on their rarity and condition. One of the most intriguing varieties from 2017 is the effigy mounds quarter. On some of these coins, collectors have reported doubled lettering in the inscriptions, such as United States of America or E pluribus unum. Under magnification, these letters appear slightly doubled or shadowed, a sign of a double die error. Such an error can significantly increase a coin's desirability and market value. Another rare find among 2017 quarters is the Frederick Douglass design. This coin depicts the famous abolitionist and writer sitting at his writing desk with his home in the background. Certain versions of this coin have shown minor die chips near Douglass's hair or face, which might seem small but are sought after by error collectors. Moving on to the Ozark National Scenic Riverways quarter, a favorite among nature lovers and coin collectors alike. This coin shows Alley Mill, a historic site in Missouri surrounded by the serenity of nature. The Denver Mint's versions of this coin are known for their sharp details, but some have appeared with weak strikes, missing details, or small die cracks around the mill wheel. These subtle imperfections make each coin distinct and fascinating for numismatists. Then there's the Ellis Island quarter, celebrating the gateway to America's immigrant heritage. This coin shows an immigrant family approaching Ellis Island with hope and determination. Some collectors have spotted doubling in the windows or details of the family's faces, and those subtle minting variations make these coins highly collectible. Lastly, the George Rogers Clark quarter portrays the Revolutionary War hero leading his men through the flooded plains in his campaign to capture Fort Sackville. Certain 2017 versions of this coin have reported small cuts or die chips near the edge or on the soldier's hat, creating a tiny raised bump of metal. These details might go unnoticed to the untrained eye, but for serious collectors, they can add immense interest and value. Now, what makes a 2017 quarter valuable isn't just an error or design flaw, it's also about condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, all the way to mint state, MS 70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. An uncirculated 2017 quarter with no wear and a perfect, shiny surface can already be worth more than its face value. But a coin with a rare mint error in near-perfect condition? That's where things get really exciting. Collectors are always on the hunt for coins that combine rarity and beauty. Sometimes, it's not just about the metal but about the story each coin tells, how it was minted, what historical event it represents, and how few examples exist in pristine condition. When you find a 2017 quarter that's flawless, or one with a known error, it can command serious attention in the market. Let's take a moment to understand why certain quarters, including the 2017 have become so collectible in recent years. One reason is nostalgia. People love collecting coins that remind them of important places or events. Another reason is the rise of online coin auctions and collector communities. Rare coins can now be discovered, shared, and sold to a global audience, driving up prices for exceptional pieces. In the coin collecting world, even small differences in strike quality, luster, and preservation can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth thousands. That's why grading and authentication are so important. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins carefully, ensuring that collectors know exactly what they have. A graded and certified 2017 quarter, especially with a known error, can become a highlight of any coin collection. It's fascinating to think that a simple quarter that once passed through someone's hands at a grocery store or was used in a parking meter could one day be worth more than a brand new car. The beauty of coin collecting lies in those surprises, finding treasures hidden in plain sight. Imagine pulling out your spare change and spotting that tiny D mint mark from Denver on a shiny 2017 quarter. Maybe the details on the coin look a little different, or perhaps the lettering seems slightly off. It's always worth a closer look. You might just be holding something that collectors would pay thousands of dollars for. Coins like the 2017 quarter remind us that history, art, and mystery can all fit into the palm of your hand. They connect us to the past, to the hands that made them and the stories they carry. Every scratch, every mark, every detail tells a part of that story, a story that collectors around the world continue to uncover and celebrate. The 2017 quarter isn't just a piece of money, it's a piece of history, a work of art, and sometimes, a symbol of incredible luck. Whether you're a beginner starting your coin collection or a seasoned numismatist looking for your next rare find, always pay attention to the small details. Because in the world of coins, those details make all the difference. So the next time you come across a 2017 quarter with a D mint mark, take a moment to examine it. Look for doubling in the letters, small cracks, or unusual textures. Keep it safe if it looks special. You never know, that coin could be one of the rare and valuable ones that collectors are searching for.